Hello everybody out there and welcome back to another indie comic book review. We are at episode 94 of the indie review. Next week will be 95, and just a reminder guys, no matter what announcements are made during the 300th comic book review celebration weekend next weekend, the indie review will remain unscathed, or unchanged I should say, until episode 100. So the indie review will be going 5 additional weeks without any changes, if there are changes. A lot of people were concerned about this review. Specifically, I've gotten a few people asking about the indie review. Giving a straightforward answer would sort of give away an announcement. I will promise you guys that we will be reviewing all of our indie books that we love each and every week. So do not fear. Again, though, you know, there are going to be announcements made, but I just want to give you guys I want to ease you guys a little bit. We will not be not reviewing indie books. I will say that. And that's all I'm going to say, because it's too spoilery otherwise. We got 5 physical books, and we've got 7 digital books. We've got 12 at least this week. We had 9 last week, so let's get going.
Yeah, and the books that we will review were released on July 22nd, 2015. Double twos. And we're going to start off with Archie Comics, as always. Sonic Universe, issue number 78. This is the variant cover.
We got 3 more issues away, and I've already pre-ordered next week's book, so we're really just 2 issues away from having the complete poster.
Yeah, and this is part 9 of 12 of the Worlds Unite story. And just to sum it up, it's really just Sonic, Mega Man, along with their friends, who are going through the Genesis portals to stop the Uni-Engines that are set off by Sigma's army, as well as them gathering people from different universes to join them. Because we already have Street Fighters, so we go to Alex Kidd's universe along with Stella. We also have a Ghosts and Goblins along Red Blaze who joins us. And yes, there are heroes and villains that will be joining, and I didn't think villains will be joining. We also have Skies of Arcadia that joins in with the rest of the Blue Rogues. Here's some artwork, which is really beautifully drawn.
I love the Ken cover, I will say that.
Yeah, the Ken cover was really awesome, and it's all connecting covers and all that. We have Bison, who actually joins. We have Dreamgate, the World of Nights, Into Dreams, along with the villain, Riala, who joins the team. And this is my favorite, the World of Okami, they go to, of Amaterasu, the dog who joins. And in the end, we have Sigma, who is planning to destroy the Sky Patrol, because it's their last resort. And it's to be continued what's going to happen then. And there's a new story arc that's going to happen after Worlds Unite.
Yeah, because Worlds Unite is ending in August.
And there's 4 parts of the Silver Age. Might as well check it out. I mean, I wasn't...
Well, you are reading all the Sonic books except for Sonic Boom.
Well, yeah, okay, I won't be reading Sonic Boom. Because I'm going to just check Silver Age, because they've written his character a little bit okay. So I'll check it out. But if it doesn't fulfill me, then I'll
probably just skid over to just Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right, but we'll see how that happens. Valiant's Book of Death, The Fall of Bloodshot. We already had Book of Death that we reviewed last time. So now we're going to do the Fall of Bloodshot until next month, where we'll...
part 2, and then I think it's the Fall of...
Ninjak, yeah. So, with Bloodshot, just talks about, you know, how he was born of pain and death, and it really talks about his story, about... like him, you know, just walking around, and he was once joined by pirates to kill people, and it was just an on and off life story from, like, he killed people, and then he went on a journey of where he was all alone and everything. He was captured by these...
Eskimos?
Yeah, Eskimos, thank you. I was trying to look for the word. And he led them for a little while, and he also, because this was during the Robot Wars, he also became king. His artwork, which is drawn really nicely, and you know, he talks about how, of course, as life went on, he just started walking again because he killed all the lizards that were left in the jungle. left in the city where he was just homeless and on the streets. And there was a kid who actually had his name Ray, like him, and I thought that was really something. And I guess after that, things just didn't turn out well for him in the end. So, a really, heartfelt story for Bloodshot because, it was like an on and off thing. Like, he walked, then he found something, and then he walked again, and that led to his own demise of what happened. So, for one shot...
So, the life and the death, basically?
Yeah. Do you really need this to know what's going on in Book of Death? Not really, because
no, it sounds like it's just a character focal.
Yeah, but if you want to collect it, like I'm doing for the full ofs, then this is the book for you. Or if you're a Bloodshot fan, because I'm every type.
So
of
I'm
fan
guessing the tie-ins then aren't as important as the
main it's
book.
just their life events and then how it turns out good or bad. Well, it turns out mostly bad in the end because of the covers and all that.
The next 3 physical books are all
so
mine.
your IDW's next.
Alright, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Casey and April, issue number 2. Guys, I was spot on. Not only was I right about Rat King already manipulating both April and Casey, Casey does follow up on the coordinates or towards the place he was headed towards. The Armory, and it turns out that place was long since abandoned and a bunch of hippies are there, or it's kind of like a group of people that are, it's kind of like how do I explain it? It's a self-help group, let's put it that way, and there's an anger management person there, and I don't know if that was really there either, because a lot of things you'll see in this issue that were there really weren't or were somehow manipulated, but there's a part where April's helping this person out who gets stranded with a flat tire. She's trying to just process everything that's going on. She admits that when her life is in chaos, that's when it's clearest to her. So she shows up at the old man's place to let his daughter know that he's stuck at the gas station. But when Casey returns to the gas station, we find a little surprise out.
Oh.
And we also find out a little bit about that motorcycle that he borrowed from the gas station. Let's just say again, it's Rat King. Things aren't what they seem. And Casey tries to call April and tell her about the Armory. Frequency's bad. April goes into the house to kind of find the daughter, and then she gets trapped. And Casey can't get in touch with April now and no longer has a means of transportation. To be continued.
Wow.
So Rat King's been manipulating things for quite some time. Probably right after the diner, as a matter of fact. Because a lot of things that seemed to be real or seemed to be going on weren't. And that's crazy.
That is crazy. Sounds crazy, too.
Mm-hmm. Really good stuff. Definitely picked up. The artwork is interesting. Not in a bad way. Very good way. But anyway, I would definitely recommend it if you're a Turtles fan. Grimm Fairy Tales issue 112 concludes the first year of Arcane Acre. And we find out that one person in this book, without spoilers, was not what she seemed. And turned out she was somebody completely opposite. And we find out what the convergence really was in this book. And let's just say it wasn't an epicenter of magic like they were told. It turns out it was really a prison for something, which we do see at the end of this issue. And this thing is so powerful, it was able to down the Dark One.
Wow.
Completely down him. Completely down
I gotta
him.
see.
Haley actually does pass on in this book, but she's still around Arcane Acre as a ghost.
Even you see his eyes, the Dark One, from the last page.
Yeah. Ali basically he's pissed off at Violet because it's all her fault that she kind of snapped and kind of lost it. We find a lot of stuff out about Druana. The Dark Horde is attacking Arcane Acre for the convergence. And like I said, something comes out of the convergence.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
It was a prison. I'm not spoiling it. I'm sorry, guys.
Wow.
I forgot his name.
I thought I would never see anybody do that to the Dark One. Just, whoa.
I forgot the boy's name. The guy who played that's Beowulf actually ends up staying. He ends up coming back to Arcane Acre. They take him back. I can't remember his name. Why did his name completely leave me?
Well, the artwork's really
Wolf.
good.
Wolf. So Wolf is back at Arcane Acre with his friend who actually stays. And let's just say it ends with whatever was imprisoned in the Convergence. I will say this. It's definitely now out there. And the Dark Lord, I guess I'll give this spoiler away. He doesn't survive. And
You mean
Sela,
the dark one?
the Dark One, yeah.
Yeah.
And Sela barely survives and the encounter with somebody who basically betrays her. I'm not going to say who or what. You got to read the book. The next issue, year 2 begins. New students. 2 new students will be joining Arcane Acre. So the school is still going on, even though it was a farce to basically cause the prisoner in the Convergence to be freed. Apparently Sela and Shang are still going to be continuing the school, which I like, because I'm glad, you know, it'll help train the next generation of Guardians. And this is a really good first year. If I learned anything in the past 12 issues, it's how much I'm really loving Grimm Fairy Tales. Pat's going to be staying. Pat Chan is definitely probably going to be staying on the book. I can't wait for Season 2. Season 1 was excellent. If you can get your hands on the trade paperbacks or just go 12 issues back. A lot happened in the 12 issues, and I can't believe it's been 12 issues already.
Yeah,
amazing
right?
stuff, and a lot's gone on. So I can't wait to see what's going to go on in year 2.
Last physical.
Last physical, and has to go as my book of the week. It's Birthright, issue number 9. Raya, at the end of this issue, meets up with Mikey's mom. Mm-hmm. She shows up at Mikey's house. And I love how the writer in this book actually gave us a better definition of the Diviners, because in the last issue we were introduced to the Diviners, we knew they were there, and they were going to cleanse the entire area because Mikey was infected with Nevermind. The Nevermind works for lore, but isn't lore. So in the beginning of the book, we get a flashback of when Mikey is a kid, and he just entered Tyrannos, and they actually encounter a Diviner's cleansing. So we get a little bit more background on the Diviners, and then the guy that was training Mikey actually makes him promise to never fight a Diviner, and in this case he has to, and he does, and one of the Diviners, to show good faith, actually heals his brother. So there's a spoiler there. Unfortunately though, Mikey still tries to stop the Diviners. He gets 2 of them. One of them is pure, and Mikey cannot hurt him because he's a pure spirit. Somebody else has to do it. So the brother basically has had enough. He tells Mikey maybe we should go home. Mikey doesn't want to go home. He wants to finish his job of killing the mages. And Brendan basically says, well, I can't follow you anymore. And he's like, fine, I'm used to being alone. I'll just do it alone like I always do. And that's when he has a fight with Nevermind. And because he's infected with it, Mikey starts to, he begins to be attacked and starts to die. And the Diviner that's left wants to kill him to save him. And the brother basically stands up and says, no, you're going to have to go through me first.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the brother actually comes back and says, you go through me. And now remember, Mikey couldn't fight the Diviner, but somebody else could. Enter his brother. Really interesting stuff is developing. Mikey actually is still conflicted, which is good, because in the beginning of the story, in issue 1, we believed he came back and he was completely evil. That's it. The end. Now we find out that there's a conflict within him. There's still the good in Mikey, but he's still infected with the Nevermind, which works for lore and is making sure that Mikey makes good on whatever promise he made to lore. But there's still a chance to save Mikey somehow. I love it. Birthright has been amazing, and I can't wait for the next issue. I was reading the letters in the back of the book, and the writer said the next issue was the hardest for him to write, and it's going to be really big, so I can't wait for issue 10. And then after issue 10, I think the second trade paperback will be out. So for those of you that are trade paperbacking Birthright, be ready. It's coming out in another couple of months. Volume 2. Alright, digital books start with John Carter, Warlord of Mars, issue number 9.
Yep, in the last issue we saw that the princess, Deja Torres, has been captured by this monster, And we find out about his lair and what it's about.
And he could regenerate, apparently.
Yeah, and he could
molding.
Yeah, he
magic.
actually grew another arm to put on himself, and that was a little bit creepy. John Carter, along with his friend Tolan, go on a journey to find where Deja Torres is.
And we get a background on the guy that took him.
Yeah, and we also get really, like, some background, really. And also, the artwork's really beautiful. And we also, Deja Torres, you know, she's smart. She knows her way out of anything. Like, she broke out of that jail cell like it was just nothing. Like, it was rubber, basically, the bars. So, John Carter and Deja Torres reunite after they found their way through the castle. She stands by John Carter, and I like that pose right there. If they could make a pose like that to fight off against the monster, because John Carter said to keep the people safe. They both fight off against him, and wow.
It was done, I feel, a little too easily, though. It really ended quickly.
I know, but...
Especially because in the last issue it was a very big fight, and this one ended in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages.
Yeah, but if you really think of, like, the fight, it was a little brief, I will say that, but the way it ended, and then they just go off on their merry ways to their vacation, that's the end. So... And if you want to find out how the monster was defeated, you're going to have to read the book. Because I won't give that away.
Alright. My last book, it's a digital book, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 10, Issue number 17. Everybody's gearing up to go after Arceus and also to find the relic that's giving him all of his power. There is a scene in the beginning of the book with Dawn and Angel a little bit, where Dawn kind of admits to having a crush on him. And remember, Dawn's memories were erased. Remember, guys, I didn't read all the way back. I'm still way back there, catching up to where we're at now. But anyway, they split up. Buffy still doesn't trust Angel, and riddled throughout this entire book is Buffy talking to somebody about her feelings for Angel and trying to figure out, you know, in her mind, it, you know, I don't know the what ifs with the past and Angel. And Angel is with Willow, and he's talking about Buffy. So you can see that there's still that romance where Spike is unfortunately caught in the middle, because Spike loves Buffy also, and Buffy loves Spike. But there's still that conflict, and they're both on, you know, they're in separate places. One is tracking down the relic, the other one's tracking down Arceus. Well, they're following two different paths that they found. One
right, because
that they believe.
That, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brief fight. Really, this is a lot of talking and a lot of just Buffy and Angel trying not to think about Buffy and Angel, or trying to figure out their future and kind of think about their past with each other. They both end up in the same place, spoiler alert, cutting out all the dialogue. Half the team tries to destroy the relic, Arceus shows up, and the other half of the team tries to fight Arceus. Now remember, Spike was mentally attacked by Arceus, but not Angel. So Arceus kind of reaches into Angel, and the ending of the issue, Angel, let's just say Buffy was right to keep an eye on Angel a little bit, because he was not tested yet by Arceus. He didn't break free of Arceus's kind of control or whatever he had. So,
well, that's not good.
Interesting stuff. No, it's not good at all. It's going to be very interesting to see the next issue.
I
really gave you guys a brief version of this book. Now, again, this is a lot of Angel and Buffy trying to figure out Angel and Buffy, while Spike and Buffy are still trying to figure themselves out, and Buffy's kind of trying to figure both guys out, while at the same time there's this grave danger with Arceus. So, and I hope I'm saying his name right. So, it's a lot of dialogue in this book, and it's a lot of, you know, that. But the action definitely picks up towards the end of the book. In the middle of the book, there's brief action. Really good stuff. Love the artwork. Love the story. Definitely would recommend it.
Okay, so now we got 3 IDW books that we're going to be doing right now. Starting with The Fly Outbreak, issue number, what is that, 4?
4.
Yeah, 4. And in this one, we do get introduced to a new character in this book, who is an alien. And I can't pronounce the name, Norlani, I think the alien's name is. I don't know if it's a he or she. And basically, the alien's saying, you know, that he's infected, and it's up to the doctor. I really wish I remembered what his name was. That's is going to try to cure him. in some way, because remember, he's still trying to find a way of how to get the infected not infected with this infection that's been spreading around. And let's not forget, they think that he has the infection also. So what he does is that, you know, he tries so many things to do that, but then the alien's gonna go off and try to kill the woman that he loves. And then he's like saying, you know, because of all the... Because she was trying to sneak up on him to kill him, and... wait, go up. Beth, he was trying to kill. And what he does is that he does this... experiment afterwards when that happened, and it looks like everything was great, that the experiment actually worked, and it actually did work. However, though, in the end of this issue, the last page, let's just Martin, I think, go up.
Yeah, Martin.
That's his name. Yeah, Martin. That's the doctor's name. Everything looked okay, but unfortunately, one of them said that too slow. That turned into a hideous monster. And it's actually to be concluded.
Yep.
Uh-huh. That's going to be something.
Alright, Edward Scissorhands, issue number 10.
Yes, and then this one, really more or less, that crazy lady, I think her name is April, whatever her name is. She just gets more sadistic, and she just tries to, you know, get everyone... Like, we get a little bit of Edward's background about how he fell in love with this girl at one time, that she's married, and she married this other guy because of his scissors and stuff like that for his hands. So he's saying how happy he is for her. April is just, like, really just gone off the loop. And there's a recording that someone did that has proof of all that she said, that she's nuts and this and that she said, oh, I'll be back because of that, and apparently, like I said before, the recording would find her guilty. So Edward really said, you know, even though I have to stay with my scissors, you know, you're not going to hurt my friends. And that's what I liked about this book, that he took his friends over fixing his fingers to hands to be like regular fingers, and that's what really was a great thing about this book. And it says the end, so I'm guessing that's the end of the book. I mean, some of these books I'm reading are the ends, and these are the books.
Could be the end of the story arc. Wait,
maybe the end of the story arc, but I really hope that there's more, because I really enjoyed reading these books.
Insufferable, issue number 3.
Yeah, now both of us, I guess, can...
Well, mostly you, but go ahead.
But Insufferable, it starts off where we saw in the last issue where, oh, what was his name?
The father threw his son into the piranha tank, but it turns out there was a little bit of a twist. He put like piranha repellent on the son so the piranhas wouldn't attack him.
Right. And then as he escapes from there and everything, what's really about this book is that the son wants to find out about what really happened to his mother, because that's his mission, finding out if his mother's really alive or who did this to her. And then there's this other reporter that's trying to keep an eye on him and stuff like that. I can't remember what his name is, but her name is. But there's a little bit of action where he's fighting off against the skeletons that entered the graveyard. And we find out who actually was the murderer, where he finds out who it actually was. And it led him to go into a whole different direction. And then with that, it just ends off where he just rides away in his motorcycle. So there was a little bit of other dialogue, but I don't want to give too much away, but I basically gave you like the plot of the book of what you are going to see in that sense.
Alright, now 68, Last Rites, issue number 1. I'm surprised you're jumping into another 68 book. I did look through it. It looks really interesting.
Yeah, the artwork reminded me of the Escape from New York, and this is an Image comic, by the way. And what this is that there's a big zombie infestation that's going on in New York in the 1970s. And everybody's trying to find shelter to stay away from these zombies, because they're not like regular zombies that go like, they're like one of those zombies that they run at you and they bite you harder and forget about it. It's just
It's a dangerous
all over the place. So they're trying to find ways of how to get rid of the zombie infestation by using lots of explosives and guns. And like I said, there are a bunch of new characters that we learn about that are being taken in, and they're interesting though, including this guy right here of the one of the American. Not, like they didn't call him Captain America; they called him something, but I can't remember. But I think he's going to be a really important character in this book, and yeah, it's just all over the place with a whole big zombie infestation. I really enjoyed this. I think that this is going to be a really interesting series. And
68's a really fun read.
I mean, yes, it was a little bit dark. I will say that much. But I really enjoyed the story. Yo.
Oh, man.
Oh, whoopsie daisy.
Whoopsie daisy.
Okay, so now we got the
Ivar, Time Walker, issue number 7.
Yeah, and this one, lots and lots of heavy, heavy dialogue. It's basically, you know, Ivar going through time with Gillid and his friend over there, and they're just talking about, like, the red guy that came in the, bless you.
It's true.
In the last issue. We find out a little bit more about the ways he can transform and stuff into other people, along with what happened a little bit with Gillid. And then we go into this woman scientist where she made the portals, and the one that's evil like her turns out to be a little bit nice, and that was actually freaky, but then like saying like, but Caesar anyway. I like how she was laughing and just said just Caesar, so that was like kind of like an okay. Guess now friends right there. And we get a little bit of how, I can't remember his name, the fat one. I just wish I remembered. That he actually comes back from the whole thing in space, and I think it's something in Woody. He was from that, I think.
Quantum?
I think Quantum.
Adam. Aram.
Oh, Adam, yeah.
Aram.
Oh, Aram, yeah. Sorry, I thought he was from that book. But Aram, he survives, and he has this whole healing fast. And then we get Ivar, who just looks into other things, and basically, it's just what we're going to be expecting in the further issues, along with that evil woman that was once like she was, but yeah. So that's really something else.
Yeah.
And it's all over the place completely.
Alright, so with that, guys, that is it for this indie review. As always, don't forget to check out ComicFrontline.com, Zone4Podcast.com, and Frontline Gaming Zone. Together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Finished this in another one part, man.
Yeah, one
Doing
part.
good. Big 2 review should be up tomorrow
Yep.
night. Well, we should be recording it tomorrow night. It should be up Monday morning. And with that, we'll be setting up for 300, so look forward to a lot of stuff. Remember, we will not be doing anything but the live show on Tuesday, and then we will be coming back on here on Friday and beginning 300. Yes. So until then, guys, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys really soon in the next review.
Later, everyone.